Your homepage is the most visited page on your website. In this episode, we are uncovering all of the elements your homepage needs to increase the conversions on your website. Hello and welcome to the new Grind and Grow Marketing Show. That's right. If you've been a part of this podcast, you know we have a change coming up, and that change is happening now. Our new name is the Grind and Grow Marketing Show, and we have made some changes because we want to provide more value. And what do you value most? Your time. So the biggest change we are making, other than the new name, is every episode is going to be 7 minutes or less because we want to provide you as much value in the shortest amount of time so you can get back to the grind. So, in 7 minutes. Now, will we be able to do that this first episode? I don't know. Let's see. We are going to give it a shot. And I'm already burning a few minutes just explaining all of this, so it may not happen. Let me start my timer. Okay, so in this episode, we are talking about the changes you can make to your homepage to increase your conversion. So it should be no surprise that your homepage is the most visited page on your website. It's the entry point to your website. It's the main page, and it's going to be the most visited page, and it needs to leave a lasting impression. So if people get to your homepage and they don't see the things that they need to see, they're just going to bounce and go to another website. So your homepage should entice people to stay on the site and dig deeper instead of hitting that back button. So we're going to uncover the elements that you need to have on your homepage. So number one is you need to have a clear navigation. So when I say a clear navigation, what I mean is, have you ever gone to the sites where at the very top they just have a bazillion things in their navigation, so much that it wraps into 2 lines, or it's so intense that you're digging into so many different drop downs that it's so much information? That's just overwhelming for your visitor. So what you want to do is you want to eliminate as much as you can in your navigation and have it as clear and concise and make it easy for people to make a decision. The other thing people like to do is put it over to the side or at the bottom or all these weird funky spots. People, the more you move it, the more people have to think and conform to something different. What you want is it to be easy for people when they come to your site. So keep it at the top, make it visible. I mean, if you do anything, put it in one of those, what we call a hamburger menu, where it's hidden and you click on it and it opens up. That's fairly standard these days. But if you can, just put it right on the top, right by your logo in the header. So having a clear navigation, that's number one. Number two is the main section that you get to when you open up your site. We call it the hero section. So it's that big kind of chunky section right underneath that header, your logo and navigation. So it's that big section. So what this section needs to do is clearly communicate what you do, how it benefits your visitor, and what action you want them to take. So what I like to do is have a main headline that just clearly states what you do. And underneath that, have some subtext or a subheadline that talks or explains like what they're going to get from your product or your service. Like, why should they care? Why do they want to know more about what you're offering? And then, of course, having that call to action, the button. Like, what is the main thing you want them to do when coming to your site? Now, you probably want them to do a couple things, but what's the main end-all call to action? To contact you, to call you, to schedule a consultation? What is it? That should be your main call to action in this header, the hero section. So what you want to avoid is that cute jargon, the stuff that people don't understand. And you also want to avoid the welcome message. Nobody needs to be welcomed into your website. Okay, moving on, the next section down, and this is where people usually miss. They usually want to go into the about us information, like what we offer, but really this next section should be the benefits section. Here you want to convey more of the benefits of what your customer is going to receive from your product or service. So talking about the benefits to them, this conversation needs to be, or this information needs to be directed toward them. What are they getting, not what are you offering? So think about it that way. That's the benefits section, and that's going to vary for everybody. Most people will like to go right to the features and talk about, what you're offering. That's not what you want to do here. You want to talk about the benefits. Okay, and then the next item down is then the features. Now, this is the easy part. This is what we typically do. This is showing people what we offer. Okay, so that's your features section. That's usually what people have on their site. Then the next thing, and maybe even sprinkled through, is social proof. So social proof is going to be your reviews, your testimonials. It could also be badges, certificates. It could be client lists, like people that you've worked with. Here's a secret to that is most of the time, people are looking for quantity over quality. And I don't mean to say that in a way that people aren't reading your testimonials, because they are, but they're probably reading some and then looking then how many you have and how many different pieces of social proof, because they want to see quantity, not just the quality. So both are important there. Okay, and then you need to have your main call to action. And this is, again, what is the one thing you want people to do when they come to your site? So maybe that's a link to another page. Maybe it's a contact form. Maybe it's a big phone number. Whatever it is, that should be your main call to action. Okay, and now the last thing that you should have on your homepage that a lot of people tend to forget about or not even know is having a secondary call to action. Because look, 90% of the people visiting your website are not ready to buy right now. That's a fact. 90% of people are not ready to buy right now. So what are you doing for that 90%? You want to be able to capture their information so you can at least keep that conversation going. How we best do that is with what we call a lead magnet. Offer some form of value, a checklist, a downloadable PDF of some type, where they can, in exchange for your email address, get this free download, some piece of value. Now you can keep that conversation going. Okay, so that wraps us up with our homepage updates that will increase conversions on your website. I am, from the looks of it, right on time here. We are about 6 minutes in, so I think I did pretty good on this one. But we are going to go over, because I do need to highlight two quick things here. One, we still have our course, our DIY website course, The Wealthy Website, opened up for free to the end of January. I'm not going to go into details with it. I did in the previous episodes. You can check it out. Link will be in the show notes. Also, I would like to invite you to our private Facebook group. Again, that is a link in the show notes there. And that wraps us up for today. We'll see you in the next episode.